Manga suki no minasan, Comic Casper e yokoso. Kore mo neta barenashi no rebu desu. Konkai wa Berserk manga desu. Kerimashou. Alright, enough goofing around. Happy April Fools for my fellow Australians and a premature Happy April Fools for everybody else in the world. So welcome back, my fellow comic book friends, and a big apology for my pronunciation of the Japanese words. And speaking of all things Japan, I got to experience my very first manga, that being Berserk, the deluxe edition, and I'm here to talk to you guys all about it. So let's kick it. Oh, and don't worry, as always, it's spoiler free. Yeah, let's kick it. What an absolute joy it has been to experience my very first manga, but not just any manga, Berserk. Now, before I get ahead of myself, I'm just going to take a little step backwards and do a brief introductory of manga to those who are not familiar with this medium, and apologies for all the experts out there. Manga is basically a comic or a graphic novel which originates from Japan, all the way back to the 19th century. The medium includes work from a broad range of genres such as action, adventure, business and commerce, comedy, detective, drama, historical, horror, mystery, romance, science fiction, fantasy, erotica, you know, the hentai and ecchi, giggity, sports and games, suspense, you name it, and they have it. So it's a little broader than what our superhero comics offer, that being DC and Marvel. And the beauty of manga is that everyone is pretty much their own independent creator, and they commonly keep their copyright and continue to influence the exploitation of their work, unlike the major amalgamation we have in the West, where most hero comics fall under the DC and Marvel umbrella, whereby these corporations have ownership of all their characters. But there's always Image Comics, which lets creators own their own work. Love those guys. Now back to Berserk. My gorgeous deluxe edition comes in at an oversized 7 by 10 inch format, or 17.8 centimeters by 25.4 for my metric system friends. This collection comes in at 692 pages, has a price tag of $49.99 US. The publisher is Dark Horse Comics. The book has this faux leather texture feel to it, including the sweet logo at the front. Brilliant, rich red foil text on the front and spine, and has nice matte paper with black and white artwork. Sewn binding, a sweet ribbon to help you track your reading, and it smells like absolute magic. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Sorry, but surely I can't be the only one, right? This manga was originally illustrated and written by Kentaro Miura, who went on to write 41 volumes of Berserk, and unfortunately passed away in May of 2021, with Koji Mori taking over the reins and promising to finish the story as was described to him by Miura in the past, which will take place within the next 10 years, so somewhere in the early 2030s. Now, most importantly, what is Berserk? It's a story set in a medieval Europe-inspired dark fantasy world and centers on our main protagonist, Guts, a lone swordsman, also referred to as the Black Swordsman, a name he has inherited as part of his quest to slay demonic entities throughout the land. He carries this colossal sword, which looks like a big slab of iron and absolutely decimates anything in his way, with efficiency. He also has a mechanical arm to compensate for his missing arm, which he uses as a ranged weapon, most notably to shoot a barrage of arrows. He has a variety of other tools he uses at his disposal, and is an extremely experienced swordsman who does not waste a moment on the battlefield. The past of our protagonist Guts is of great mystery. And within the first volume, we only get to scratch the surface of who he is, where he came from, what his motivations are, and why is he on this focused warpath. The first volume does a fantastic job to set the stage, showcasing how grim and horrific the world of Berserk can be. Public executions taking place, people making deals with demons, the strong mercilessly preying on the weak, factions waging war on one another, misery and despair is lurking at every corner, and amongst it all, our protagonist is a killing machine, bringing forth a sense of excitement and vindication every time we witness Guts swinging that hulking greatsword. This is a series that is not short of violence, and it must be said, this is a story that is not for the faint of heart. Many a times I was met with striking visuals of brutality, body horror, and sometimes erotic moments. Giggity. But it's all done with purpose and precision, and if you have seen Game of Thrones, then think that but cranked to 11. On a side note, I had this light bulb moment when reading Berserk, realizing Berserk was a major source of inspiration for the Souls franchise. You know, the Dark Souls games, Demon Souls, Elden Ring. I didn't realize this until now, and fun fact, one such reference within Elden Ring is the weapon which belongs to our protagonist Guts, which can be found and wielded in the game, this being the legendary greatsword. Plus, I noticed a lot of the body horror and grotesque transformations depicted within the Souls games are straight out of the Berserk manga. Absolutely incredible. So as a first-time reader of Berserk, and manga in general, I didn't think I would enjoy the black and white artwork as much as I did, and the classic style of reading from right to left wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. I got the swing of things quite quickly. In comparison to the Western comics, this manga flowed so fast and smoothly. There was so much less dialogue than there usually is in Marvel or DC comics. It felt like there was no necessary fluff and also left more room for mystery and future build-ups. I admire the inner monologue that Western comics bring, but Berserk was a nice change of pace where actions and settings were truly larger than words. It makes me wonder, does most manga flow so smoothly and is void of inner monologue? Let me know in the comments below. The one thing that made me laugh was the shocking face reactions characters had. You know what I'm talking about, like there's such a great reflection of what we get to witness in the animes and always makes me chuckle how over the top it is. But maybe that's just me. Now let's take a moment to talk about the artwork. It is so epic at times. I just simply couldn't fathom that a human being took ink to paper to bring this imagery to life. I can only imagine it would have taken forever to draw some of these stunning pages. The detail is incredible, and it felt like I was absorbing an important piece of history. There were many moments where I just paused to stare at the pages, taking in all of the line work and shading. It was mesmerizing. The level of patience taken to craft these images is crazy, and knowing it was all composed by one man is even crazier. Just proves how much love Kentaro Miura had for his creation. I hope that he felt a great sense of pride with his work, and I just hope he got to hear lots of praise during his time writing and penciling the series. I also can't believe this is work dating all the way back to 1989. It really felt timeless. At the end of the day, the Berserk Deluxe Edition Volume 1 truly feels like a masterpiece. This was a page-turner that I simply couldn't put down. I'm glad I got to experience it in this epic format, and I urge those wishing to give it a go to do the same. The pacing is lightning fast, the events are always fascinating, and the action hits so hard that it does make you go, whoa. You do feel like a cheerleader sometimes as you are backing your protagonist from the sidelines. Now, the only thing that's left for me to do is save up enough money to grab all of the other deluxe editions, because I'm dying to know where the story goes next. So I think it's safe to say that I really loved my first manga experience, and I'm going to look forward to perhaps diversifying a little bit into the manga world. So guys, be prepared that there's gonna be most likely a manga haul coming up soon with some things that I want to give a try, you know, maybe like a smorgasbord of different manga comics. And guys, if you have any recommendations, let me know in the comments below. I know sure as hell I'm going to be reading as much of this as I can. I'm gonna be buying, you know, the other volumes eventually, bit by bit, because I just enjoyed it so much. It made a good impression on me. And if you guys have read Berserk, let me know in the comments below what you thought. As always, big thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Look after yourselves, and I'll hit you up with the next one soon. See you later.